Hello. So I want to go over a few things about my homeschool experience and how I break up my homeschool to be manageable and fun and life-giving. And I get asked this question a lot. I do a ton of research. After 6 or 7 years of researching all the homeschool models, all of the philosophies, all the different lifestyle choices and stuff when it comes to homeschooling. These are the four main things that I have boiled down that work best for me. And I just get asked this question all the time. And, people come to me and they're like, well, I just feel so stressed all the time. I feel like we can't get it together, or my kid is just all over the place, or can't sit down and focus, which we have our days too, don't get me wrong. But these are the four things that kind of help alleviate some of that. And I hope they help you too. And that's why I'm making this video. I'm not a vlogger. I'm not one of these people that has these channels, but I just want to bless somebody else with all the research that I've done. So I really hope this helps. So these are the four things that I have boiled it down to, and they are just lifestyle things. They're not regimented things that you must do every day. No, they're just lifestyle things that have just streamlined my approach to homeschooling. So the first one is set yourself a goal and a mission statement. And this goes back to somebody I watched several years ago. She said, set yourself a goal and a mission statement and stick to it for those 18 years. And you can modify it here and there. I will go back into more detail about these. So that's the first one, goal and mission. The second one is atmosphere of learning. Sanctifying your technology use, decorating your home with educational things, and setting yourself up, your homeschool up as a Christ-centered learning home. So that's kind of two in one. The second one is atmosphere of learning, sanctifying your technology use and that kind of thing. The third is setting your homeschool up as a domestic church, and I'll explain that further in a minute. The fourth is organization and curriculum. Notice I put that last. So I'll go over those again quickly. First of it is goal and mission statement. Second is atmosphere of learning. Third is domestic church. And fourth is organization and curriculum. The reason I broke those down the way I did is because this creates a lifestyle for our learning journey. The mission statement of public school was always go to college, get a job. You're schooling for those first 18 years of your life because your mission is to go into college and to get a job or a career. It's debatable if that's even working anymore. So I'm not opposed to college personally. If that's her God-given desire is to become a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, then we will talk about it. We keep that option open, but that's not what we're gearing things towards. I gear my mission statement more towards learning what her God-given gifts are in these 18 years and developing those God-given talents and gifts rather than just go follow your heart. That was what I was always told. So we don't follow our heart. We find out what our God-given passions and gifts are, and we go from there. The other thing I want to focus my mission on is developing her skills as a businesswoman. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, but she also ran her own home business. So if she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, but they need extra money when she gets married and has kids, then she'll have that business head and she'll be able to pursue that for herself. And then also, along with my mission statement, is that I want to create in her a lifelong love of learning. And I know we hear that a lot. It's almost cheesy at this point, but that's my goal, is for her to love learning and that she's got positive associations with learning. So that leads me to this next one, positive associations with learning. The way I do that is I create an atmosphere of learning in my home. So what that looks like is how I decorate my home matters. I add elements of learning all over the place. So we've got a big, large map on our wall in our house. It's a huge world map, but we reference regularly, very frequently. We've got a tabletop basket, really cute, goes along with my decorations in my house, that has all of her workbooks, her math books, her phonics books, and it's just a truncated small cross section of what we're working on this year. So I don't change it every year. I've tried the whole morning basket thing. It doesn't work for me because I just can't stay on top of it. But these things, this basket has everything that we need for her phonics, her math, her handwriting, her spelling book, as well as some games. So I've got flashcards in there for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. It's got bananagrams, a little case of bananagrams in it so we can spell words. So it's just fun. It's got her pencils in it. It's got fun little like Halloween kind of pencils or whatever season we're in. It has just fun things in it. So that's how I decorate my house. We also have a big chalkboard. And then I also sanctify technology in our house. I ask God to sanctify the technology use in our household. So what that looks like is Monday through Friday, we do not do Disney. We do not do Cocomelon. We do not do any of the media that the culture is pushing at us at all. We don't even have Netflix or Disney Plus in our house. We just don't. We're kind of over the whole subscription thing, unless it's educational. So we ask God, we ask the Holy Spirit to sanctify our technology use. And what that looks like is Monday through Friday, everything is educational. It's all either number blocks or alpha blocks. So we're learning numbers or we're learning letters, learning spelling, that kind of stuff. There's also ABC Mouse, which has a lot of social studies and that kind of stuff in it, and games, and it gamifies homeschooling. And I would say the tablet is kind of my partner, my homeschooling partner, because on the days where I notice that she is just too squirrely to sit still, for me, she'll interact with these tablets, with her tablet games, and she gets a lot of energy out doing that. She's not a zombie kid. She's not just sitting there zoning out in front of TV and tablet time. If she were, I would revise this because I don't like it when kids just zone out on tech. So that's not what I endorse in my house. She is the type of kid to interact with things. She's making paper crafts that go along with what she's watching. And she does this all on her own. This is her own inspiration. She loves to do it. I don't dictate or mandate anything that she's doing. She just, she's either playing with the number blocks manipulatives. I'll say, go get your toys. Usually I don't have to say anything. Usually she just has her arts and crafts on her table that goes along with my atmosphere of learning is in her basket. She's got all of her art supplies in it. It's got all of her markers, all of her paper, all of her pencils, all of her colored pencils, all of her art supplies, crayons, everything is, and scissors and glue and all of that stuff is at her disposal on the table in the basket. So that when she is inspired by something she sees on her tablet, she can make her own crafts. She's gone so far, I'll make another video and show you some of the stuff that she's done on her own that have supplemented her education simply because she's just creative like that and she has fun with it. So if she's not zoning out on her tablet, if you've got a kid that does, then maybe set a time limit on things and make sure that, you're kind of watching that a little bit closer, or maybe interacting. Maybe you do need to be a little more hands-on. I'm lucky enough that I have a kid that she just takes off with it and she loves to learn and she loves to interact with it. And she's running up and down the hallway pretending that characters are chasing her and the whole thing. So she's acting it out. She's, as she's playing babies, she's also playing Mary and Joseph in Bethlehem, or, she's playing out the story of Ruth, or she's just very interactive with her technology use. So that's how I ask God to sanctify our tech in our household. And this goes for me and my husband too. We try really hard not to just have what I call the McDonald's of media in our house. We're not watching, especially on Monday through Friday, we're not just watching junk all day. We're not watching Disney all day. We reserve that for Saturdays or sometimes Sunday nights, because Sunday is the only time my husband has off right now. So we reserve that for either Saturday evenings or Sundays in the afternoons or evenings. and we'll sit down and watch a couple of movies. We've got the entire Disney collection on DVD. We don't subscribe to anything. We don't have Netflix or Disney Plus or anything like that. So it's all Disney movies and DVDs at this point. We also have things like Thumbelina and all the extras. That's just really fun. So I'll include another video about how I sanctify technology and how that's playing out in my house, because I think it's important. I think it's an important topic. I wrestled with this in the beginning, and this is the thing that I've come up with that has had the most success in my house. And it also alleviates me from having to know it all, because there's so much in things like ABC Mouse and Number Blocks and Adventure Academy that just make it so much more fun and enriching and adds so much more than what I can do myself. I know I have gaps in my education. I know I have things that maybe I knew, but I forgot to pass on to her. And that's okay. We're all human. We all, miss things or whatever. But this is kind of how the technology and the educational things that she uses is how I fill those gaps. And when I hear something that they're talking about, I'm like, oh, we should do a project on that. And that's when I'll take control and I'll say, okay, we're in my hour of schooling where we actually sit down and I am the teacher and you are the student. We're going to go deeper into that. So it kind of triggers my memory too of like, oh, I should be talking about that too. So yeah, it's been really helpful. It's been really enriching. And like I said, I'll post a separate video on just that because I think it's worth its own topic. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is organization and curriculum. And organization and curriculum is at the bottom because things fluctuate in our house from day to day. The biggest thing I want to impart to you is that I personally do not set goals, daily goals or weekly goals for myself. I just don't, because I've tried it that way and I fall short every time and I get angry and frustrated when I miss the goal. And most of the time, the reason that we miss the goal is because she's still young. She's 6 years old. And we started homeschooling three or 4 years ago, seriously homeschooling 4 years ago. And in these younger years, you got maybe 10, 15 minutes tops every day to squeeze things in and to get things rolling. It just is. I mean, kids have very, very little minuscule attention spans. And as adults, to set goals on a daily basis, I just found myself pulling my hair out more than it was worth. She was getting frustrated and I was getting frustrated. So the way I conquer that is this. Get yourself a planner. It's not a planner. It's your captain's log. Okay. You're not planning ahead of schedule at 6 and 7 years old. You're not setting those goals yet. When she gets a little older and has a little bit more discipline to sit still a little longer, then I might change this. But for right now, this is my captain's log. I am not setting my goals. I'm actually just recording what we are doing for that day. So if she's feeling inspired to sit down with me for an hour, we might do 4 or 5 pages of math. We might do a page or 2 of phonics. We might do some poetry or whatever inspires us for that day. Okay. I'll write down whatever we did. I am not setting those goals. If we surpass what I thought, I'm like, okay, we're going to do a page of math and we surpass that. Fantastic. Roll with it. If you've got a kid that's like, hey, I'm inspired to go to the next page. Do it. Roll with it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have those days where you've got a really long chunk of time and they are on the ball and they're really focused and you can maybe squeeze in an hour and a half of school. That's great. You want those days. But am I going to pull my hair out the next day when she's like, I only have the attention span for 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, and now we're just doing flashcards for 5 or 10 minutes? No, because I know that all the time that she's accrued in that time of the hour and a half that we did, if we have a short day here and there, it's gonna average out over time. And I homeschool year round, so I'm not stressed about squeezing all of my stuff into a 24-week time span. Okay. So I know that those long days and those short days are going to average out over the time span of a year, and we're going to hit all the things. And by recording in your captain's log, in your teacher's log, if you will, you can then go on and build from there. So I can say, okay, on April 3rd, we talked about time and money. Maybe we should go back and review that a while. It's been a little while. Okay. Maybe on, June 2nd, we talked about fractions, and now it's like 5 weeks later and we haven't talked about it since then. Now you can kind of go back and kind of fill the gaps from there. Or maybe you're like, I want to be on a roll with this and we're just going to work on fractions for a while. But what I have found is if you work on one thing for too long, she gets bored. And some kids will be there. So like, I feel inspired to just like drill on addition, subtraction for 2 weeks. Eventually she's going to get bored with that, and she's going to be like, she's going to put up a big stink about it and not going to want to do it at all. So I'm like, okay, that's when I go back in my captain's log and I look and I say, okay, well, it's been a while since we've looked at fractions. Why don't we just switch gears? We'll do some fractions for a while, or we'll do some geometry, or, maybe you alternate. Maybe you do geometry one day and fractions the next day, and you do addition, subtraction drills the next day. And if you've got a kid that just needs that constant rotation of things, then you have a log of the rotation. So you're not just grilling it out on goals all the time and then getting angry at yourself and angry at your children for not meeting those goals. I hope that helps, because for me, it revolutionized my household and my my outlook on things. The other thing too is look at those 4 things that I gave you: goal and mission, atmosphere, domestic church. Set yourself and your home up as a domestic church where Christ is at your center. You're praying every day. You're setting that time aside to pray with each other and for each other. You've got your house decorated in a way that glorifies God. You're sanctifying your technology use that glorifies God and also enriches education and makes education fun and engaging. You're putting out all of the supplies, art supplies, pencils, paper, scissors, glue, all of that stuff, so that they feel inspired to create artwork and educational material themselves, and you're not having to put the pressure on yourself all the time to make these crafty projects. And they just kind of feel inspired by what they're seeing and what they're getting into with their technology and with the books and the resources that you're providing them. And then the 4th is organization and curriculum. So anytime I feel like my homeschool is derailing for any reason, if I feel chaotic or cluttered or stressed or tired or whatever, I start going back in my head. I didn't write these things down until I started making this video, but this is what I've been doing. I go back into these 4 things and I decide, okay, what is making me crazy right now? What is preventing me from having a fulfilling, wonderful, joy-filled lifestyle? And usually I can find it within those 4 things. Usually it's, okay, my atmosphere is chaotic right now because I haven't cleaned my house in a week because we've had a million things going on. We've had birthday parties. Lately we've had a birthday party. We've had at least 3 or 4 field trips. We've had my nephew over that I've been babysitting. We've had my mother-in-law that we're moving out and moving into her own place. So right now, where our phase of life is, my house is just disordered and it's causing a lot of chaos in my own mind, and it's hard for me to focus on any one thing. So I know if I go back into these 4 things, I can say, okay, that's the reason. It's my house. It's disordered. I need to take a step back, and maybe on a day where I'm not doing anything, we don't do school today. Maybe we just do 5 minutes of school. We do a couple flashcards, or maybe we don't do any at all today. And I just take a break, take a pause, recollect my life, right? Get my house in order, figuratively and literally get my house in order. And then the following day, we can pick up where we left off in a more ordered and organized and joy-filled way. The other way I look at it too is if I'm feeling disordered or chaotic, or things are just, maybe we're having a lot of arguments. Maybe she and I are butting heads a lot. I look back at my list and go, okay, is Christ at my center? Is Christ at the center of our life right now? Or have we forgotten to pray before we've started our homeschool day? And it helps to pray with each other before we start school. Really helps. And on the days where we miss that, I notice that we do butt heads more. Or maybe we're halfway through our homeschool hour or whatever, and I notice now we're butting heads. I'll take a minute and I'll pause, and I said, you know what, let's pray for each other really quick, that the Holy Spirit sends us the focus and the self-discipline and the love for each other to just continue really quick to finish this. Okay. So sometimes that can help just redirect. So I'll go through this mental checklist in my head of, maybe just put Christ at the center for a minute, and, or remember that Christ is at the center, and go from there. Or maybe it's that I'm setting too many goals for myself, and I have to just relook at my organization and go, okay, I'm setting too many goals for this week. And maybe, between moving my mother-in-law and all these field trips and all this stuff, maybe I'm trying to squeeze too much in. And so I'll pull back on my organization, and maybe we just do 5 or 10 minutes of the homeschooling a day. Again, we're 6 and 7 years old right now. It's not a big deal if you miss a day or two here and there. It's fine. Especially if you're supplementing with, like I do, with tablet, with educational, wholesome, good quality educational material. On the days where we have time to ourselves and we have a day to relax, I call them our quiet days. We're going to have a quiet day today. And what that usually looks like is she can play her tablet all day long, and I don't even care, because I know that it's educational, it's wholesome. I have been through every single video, every single thing in that tablet to secure it, to make it safe, to make it wonderful, to make it beautiful. There is not a browser on it. There is no there's no way she can break into it or get out of it or anything like that, to navigate to anything dangerous. There's just no way she can do it. I even struggle to get into that tablet to modify settings and stuff. So just make sure that your tablet is set to the safest settings possible. And I'll put a reminder of that in the comment section below. Make sure that it's set to the safest settings possible. I can even go through it with you on the tablet settings if you need some help with that. We have an iPad, and it's all set to lockdown. There's nothing she can get into. There's nothing she can get out of. Nobody can access it but me. So that's that. So on those days where I'm just feeling burnt out, or she's feeling burnt out, and we've done just a million things and we're just tired, she just learns on her own. And that kind of alleviates the stress for me, that I know that she's still learning even though we are not interacting one-on-one. And then the other thing is, if I feel scattered or frustrated, sometimes it's helpful to just review my mission statement. And maybe I've lost the plot, and maybe it's not important to drill down on this piece of trivia or whatever for that day. If she's getting, if we're going over science and we're like, what are the 6 forms of pollution? Noise, air, water, land, thermal, radioactive. And she's not getting it, and I'm getting angry and frustrated at it. I need to remember that, okay, this is not the plot. Is she going to be, is this really important, or is this something we're going to come back to a million times? Usually it's that we're going to come back to it a million times. So it's fine. So anyway, I hope this helps. I hope this helps to alleviate some stress in your life. I hope it helps bring joy back into your homeschool life. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. If you know me personally, please reach out. I am closing the comments off in the comment section because it just is a distraction, and I want to encourage people to go out and talk to their own communities. Go out and talk to real people. Don't get sucked into the bubble of YouTube and go down these rabbit trails, because mine is not the only philosophy out there. Mine is just an amalgamation of what I've boiled down that's working in my household at this moment in time. But there's other philosophies out there. So if you've got something else that you'd like to talk to somebody about, then go find your own community, go talk to your own people, go find people that are walking this journey with you. I really encourage you to do that. And it's been such a blessing in our household. So anyway, God bless you, and I will pray for you. I've been praying for all the homeschooling mothers in our country, and I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.